Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi guys, CeeChronicles here, back again with another fragrance video. If you love fragrance related content, please kindly consider subscribing and joining the family. Now, if you're returning, thank you so much for the continued support. Also remember to give feedback, guys. As you watch this video, I also like to hear your thoughts. So do make use of the comment section. Lastly, I do have a PayPal donate link, which is on the top of my YouTube page, just below my photograph. If you would like to donate anything at all towards the purchases of some of the fragrances on this channel, you can utilize that PayPal donate link, because this is not a sponsored channel. Now, welcome to today's video. Today I have Lattafas that I've rated a 10 over 10 that were released in the first half of 2024. Now, granted, there could be some that I have here that were released in the last half of 2023, but I got my hands on them in 2024. So I thought to take 10 of the best of the Lattafas that they have given us so far. These you're not going to go wrong with. Number one is going to be Musamam White Intense, a complete opposite of its counterpart. So if you're one of those people that actually did buy the brown one, the one that came in this casing, but the casing was brown. If you're one of those people that did buy the brown one and you found that one a little bit too oody and woody and Middle Eastern, this has nothing to do with that. This is completely the opposite, guys. This is going to be your coconut, your ylang, your rich sandalwood. There, beautifully done scent that is inoffensive. And there is something in this fragrance that kind of feels like a sparkling ginger, but ginger is not listed as a note. So I just get a spiciness of, what I usually get from, ginger in this fragrance. Beautiful summer, spring scent, or one that I can say all year round, because it has the capacity, or it has the potential to cross all year round. It has got the great lasting power to match Western style of fragrance here you have, and this is Musamam White Intense as our number one. The second one on the lineup, guys, is Camera, and this is Kawa. I don't know what made Lattafa think of giving us this twist, but it was a well-needed twist. Now, if you love Camera, I'm going to be honest with you, this is a continuation of Camera. By continuation, I mean it's going to vibe in the same way as Camera, but there are a few twists here that makes this one more wearable than the original Camera, right? They did add the cardamom here, the fruits and the light coffee, and that is the twist that I feel was needed in this second one for those who were finding the original stuffy, too spicy, too woozy there. Because if you have the original Camera like myself, I have both, you will find that that is a fragrance that sometimes you have to think about before you wear, because it can be a little bit pushy there, beast mode, which is a good thing. But for some, this was very refreshing, a fragrance that, was well needed, especially in that Camera line. So number two, guys, getting a 10 out of 10 on this lineup is going to be Camera Kawa. Third one on the lineup is going to be from the Niche Emirati collection of, again, Lattafa. But I'm going to give you a cheaper alternative to this in case you are not keen on the Niche Emirati, or you're not keen on the pricing of the Niche Emirati, because the Niche Emirati collection from the Lattafa house is one for maybe collectors or something like that. The price point is really, on the high side. This is antique, right, from Niche Emirati, vibing the same way as Gris Chanel. Now, if you love that fragrance and you want it on steroids, go for this. This is a beautifully done fragrance lasting for days. It's not pushy. It still encompasses that soft feel of Gris Chanel, but just with presence. I mean, outdoing that fragrance, if I may say. So if you're looking for the fragrance in the same vein with a beastly lasting power, but soft in presentation, then this is definitely a recommendation. The bottle doesn't actually do it justice, because just looking at the bottle, you expect it to contain maybe a heavyweight stuffy type of scent, or even vintage tone, smoky, that sort of thing, incensey. It's not like that. It gives you that well-rounded softness of that Gris Chanel DNA, but with the lasting power to match. However, as I said, that they do have, the same company, Lattafa, do have Liam Gray, which they released, I think, late 2023. So if that is a more accessible option to you in terms of presentation, or in terms of bottle, or in terms of price, then you can go for that one. But I feel this is a definite 10 over 10 for me. Fourth on the lineup, guys, is going to be Amir. This is one of the best citrus that Lattafa has given us. I had these two actually. I was conflicted whether to give you this one or this one, but I thought, no, I'm going to give him its flowers. This is a citrus with like a green tone, a woody tone, that sort of thing. So it has twists and turns there, and some might not find it as outright citrus. This La Collections The Antiques 1910. So we're going to put it to the side and focus on the one that I ended up zooming on with it, which is this Emir. I'm not being biased by the fact that this comes in a beautifully done bottle or presentation. No, am I being biased by the fact that I did establish that it does share a lot in common with that Clive Christian Town and Country. This, guys, is just a gorgeously done citrus. If you're looking for a long-lasting, crisp citrus, fresh, clean, this is the one fragrance that you need to add to your collection from the house of Lattafa. So this definitely took that spot, guys, for the ideal summer scent, for the ideal clean and fresh scent that they dropped in the year 2023/2024, and it gets a 10 over 10 from me. Next up is going to be Teriyaki, and I did notice, guys, that some of you guys are concerned about the snakes, right? The snakes. Yes, you are right. Because if we are to go back to Musama, okay, the brown one in this one, there's a snake. This one has a snake. I don't know what that means, but I personally don't have a problem with the snake presentation, maybe because we grew up around snakes. Even where I live at, there's a lot of snakes. Now, Teriyaki made it on the lineup, not because it's a Quentin Bish collab with Lattafa. I just feel on its own, it's a juice that is a perfect fusion of Middle Eastern meets Western, right? So if you are looking into tiptoeing into Middle Eastern fragrances, for example, and you don't want the shock of your life, this would be the great starting point. I get something that kind of reminds me of Camera in this, and I get that staple Lattafa DNA in this, right? But without pushing it, because then Mr. Bish comes with his craftsmanship in this fragrance, giving us a caramel, vanilla, honey, leather scent that is beautifully done. And yes, I can see how it can be underwhelming for some who are expecting fireworks, but if you have been following the Lattafa journey, then you will know that Lattafa has not given us something like this, though it contains that staple DNA of theirs. And when I say staple DNA, I'm talking about if you've used the Muntals, if you've used the Amouages, you will know that there is somewhat of a staple thing that you get there. And Lattafa has got that staple thing, that woody thing that they play around with, that makes you identify some of their fragrances as outright theirs. And I get it in here. So this is a perfect fusion of that Western meets Middle Eastern style of fragrance, and with the performance to match. So Teriyaki, guys, definitely gets a 10 out of 10 from me. Next up is going to be from the Niche Emirati collection, and yes, I feel bad. I mean, showing you like a couple of Niche Emirati fragrances, but I can't take away the fact that some of their Niche Emirati fragrances are really, really good. Now, the reason why I also pulled this one out, Al Dana, is because if you're looking for that Hasivat on steroids, a pushy Hasivat, if you love that DNA, right? Obviously, this one's going to cost a little bit less, right? But in terms of how the Lattafas are priced, this one is not really on the cheap side of the Lattafas. But if you love that DNA, this is your one-stop point, right? I know we came here with Qaid Al Fasan and we told you, oh, Qaid Al Fasan smells a lot like that. Yes, and I still maintain that it smells a lot like that. But I'm going to add a little correction there, that I'm going to put it at 40%, smelling similar to that Hasivat. And this, I'm going to put at par, including the lasting power. So this definitely gets a 10 over 10 for me, for a fragrance that's going to last, a fragrance that's going to be value for money. A little goes a long way. Beast performing, lasting till the next couple of washes. Al Dana is a 10 out of 10 for me, guys. Seventh on the lineup is going to be Eclair. Now, there is nothing else I can say that's not going to sound like a broken record, about this one, because I keep bringing it, but I can't take away the fact that it's a good fragrance, guys. This is the close-up of Lattafa Eclair. Unfortunately, my bottle is peeling, but the contents are gorgeous. I am going to say, just like I said with Empire Victor from Cadillac, that is the best vanilla fragrance I've smelled so far for the first half of 2024. This I'm going to cap as the best Middle Eastern gourmand fragrance I've smelled so far for the first half of 2024. If you love gourmand fragrances, honey, milk, all the nice stuff, caramel, get your hands on this and you're going to thank me later. This is a definite 10 out of 10. Eighth on the lineup, guys, is going to be Lattafa's Maya Natural Intense. I know some people are conflicted when it comes to this fragrance. I know it gets 50-50 reviews and some people don't really get it, but I am going to give it a 10 out of 10 and I'm going to give it its flowers. Lattafa, for one, has not given us a clean, fresh, aquatic fragrance that vibes like this. This is summer in a bottle, but with a twist. There's a sophistication to this fragrance. It incorporates that fig, tangerine, vanilla, melon, right? And of course that coconut water, something that this one has as well. But this one didn't make it on my 10 out of 10, despite having been made by a master perfumer, because there is something in this that I do not really like, right? That interpretation of the water, that, true interpretation of that Zanzibar that they were trying to get at, that they nailed in this, is exactly what is off-putting to me. But with this, I cannot fault this fragrance, guys. If you're looking for a summer fragrance with a twist, if you're looking for a fragrance that's full of pages, that's going to surprise you, get yourself Lattafa Maya Natural Intense and thank me later. If you are finding this fragrance a little bit strange, just give it time. It is a fragrance that's got 2 pages. I always say this about this fragrance, that it starts off in one direction where you're going to get that burst of fig and all, and then it changes, direction to the melon and the tangerine and stuff. But all in all, encompassing that DNA that's ideal for summer. So go for this one, guys, if you're looking for something different that doesn't feel like the rest of them that we've been given by the House of Lattafa. It's sitting on number 8. Number 9, guys, is going to be Bayan, a fragrance that didn't really get, that much publicity, at least to my knowledge. I don't see a lot of people talking about this, or even if it was talked about, it didn't really get to like a hyped, style of fragrance. And confession, I'm going to be honest, this is not one of my favorites, but I give it a 10 out of 10 because of how it's made. It's a beautifully done, lightly woody, oody, mossy style of fragrance there, incorporating fruits and the rose and becoming a jammy presentation. It also has the lychee there, so if you like your rose with a little bit of a oud there where it becomes like a smoky rose, this is definitely one that's going to do it for you. And it's in that same fragrance family as that Ombre Nomade style of fragrance, so there is a reason that Ombre Nomade is popular. So I just thought to single this one out, even though it's not my favorite, but to give it its flowers based on being a DNA that hasn't been repeated over and over by Lattafa, and by virtue of that I gave it a 10 out of 10. It's Bayan, and it's the 9th one on the lineup. Now, last but not least is going to be this one, but I'm going to give you an honorable mention because this one is still in its maceration stage. This is why I'm going to give you an honorable mention, and the honorable mention is going to be one that's coming from the Nisha Emirati, so that is why I made it an honorable mention. This Lujane, guys, is here getting a 10 over 10 because of how beastly it is. If you love that Mimo Mafa and you feel that, you want your fragrance heightened there when it comes to the tuberose, the florals and stuff, the spices, this one's going to do it for you. Lujane gets a 10 over 10 for anybody who's looking for a beast performing fragrance dropped by Lattafa in the year 2020. Now, back to the one that actually did make it for number 10, guys. And the only reason I had to bring that Lujane is because, as I said, this is still macerating. So we're yet to see, how it's going to go. And again, we have some funny top here making an appearance. It doesn't bother me, but I noticed in the comment section that some people are bothered by that. I'm giving this fragrance its accolade. I'm giving it its flowers because this is one fragrance that, though carrying that Lattafa staple, does not again become a traditional, oh my god, this is just another Lattafa that's going to be oody, smoky, woody and all that with that Middle Eastern stamp on it, right? This is somewhat safe, safe in a way like that teriyaki. It doesn't vibe like teriyaki. It's not like teriyaki, but remember, I did say that teriyaki is Middle East meets West, okay? That's what I get again from this fragrance, a Middle Eastern style of fragrance because of its woodiness, because of its spiciness. But then it has a twist because of its nuttiness and that cherry accord that makes it relatable. This is also one fragrance that, though I feel it leans a little bit masculine, if you are trying to get your feet into Middle Eastern fragrances, this is a very good starting point. So I would class this as a good starter Middle Eastern fragrance because it's going to then initiate you into getting accustomed to how the other ones are made, because the other ones can be a bit too much there on the oud, on the spices, on the smokiness, on the incense. This does not have everything very loud there. But yes, the woods are something that you're going to feel. The spices are something that you're going to feel, but everything staying in check. And of course, one that I feel a lot of gentlemen is going to like. It's Sir from the house of Lattafa. So that's it, guys. That's a wrap. Those are the fragrances that I gave a 10 out of 10, released by Lattafa in the first half of 2024. Remember, I did say that some of them could have been released in the later part of 2023, but I personally got my hands on them in the first half of 2024. These are fragrances that I cannot fault. You can blind buy either one of these fragrances. You will get to enjoy the craftsmanship of Lattafa as a house if you own either of these fragrances. And no, this is not a paid promotion. Chronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section, guys, where we're going to discuss more about fragrances. Let me know which ones you give a 10 out of 10 from the house of Lattafa, and we can of course converse in the comment section. Remember to turn on post notifications. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this one, and remember that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.